Welcome to Tucson, Arizona, a city where ancient fields of giant cacti bask in the desert sun, and sprawling mountain wilderness surrounds you in nearly every direction. Here, you can explore historic and cultural sites, taste world-renowned cuisine, and experience the vast majesty of the Sonoran Desert. If you want an easy way to explore the desert without having to hike miles in the heat, the Arizona-Sonora Desert Museum is the place to be. This is more than a museum. It's a sort of hybrid zoo, museum, botanical garden, showcasing the wide variety of life that calls the desert home. You can find the Arizona-Sonora Desert Museum west of the city, just outside Saguaro National Park's Tucson Mountain District. It spans 21 acres full of family-friendly exhibits and often ranks as the best thing to do in all of Tucson. You can easily spend half a day or more here looking at the beautiful animals, venturing into the cave exhibit and inspecting the world-class mineral collection, and walking among all the goofy desert plants that look straight out of a Dr. Seuss book. There's animals you'll find overhead, underwater, and some that you'd much rather see here in the museum safely than accidentally run into them out in the wilderness. It's amazing and a bit scary how well some of these snakes and scorpions blend into their surroundings. What a great reminder to be aware and watch your step even within the park's boundaries. Explore Sabino Canyon. Sabino Canyon Recreation Area is one of the most stunning natural treasures in Tucson, with beauty rivaling or maybe even surpassing that of the nearby Saguaro National Park. It's also one of our favorite places to explore. Sabino Canyon is located at the base of the Santa Catalina Mountains and has trails heading all the way up and around Mount Lemmon. This protected area is part of the Coronado National Forest and offers over 40 miles of trails for all skill levels. One easy hike is the quarter-mile Bajada Nature Trail, which is conveniently next to the Sabino Canyon Visitor Center. It's a short and flat path, but still has some of the most beautiful crested saguaros around. Crested is the term used for these unusual growth patterns. There's still debate over why some cacti grow this way, whether it's genetics, illness, pests, or environmental stress, but whatever the cause, crested saguaro are super interesting to see. One of the most beautiful hikes in Sabino Canyon is to Seven Falls. This is an 8.4-mile hike that's sometimes rocky and challenging and climbs over 1,000 feet in elevation. But the reward of reaching the Seven Falls is well worth the effort. There are a few ways you can get to this landmark. You can take the Sabino Canyon Shuttle to the Seven Falls trailhead, or you can hike there via the Bear Canyon Trail. On this hike, you'll follow the creek, venturing far into the canyon and becoming ever more surrounded by walls of towering saguaros. Go far enough and you'll eventually turn a corner to find a secluded series of waterfalls cascading down enormous rocky cliffs. These are the Seven Falls. We visited during the dry season, so the water wasn't running, and it was still gorgeous. As the sun sets over the Sonoran Desert, the canyon transforms into a palette of golden light and deep shadows, a reminder of the impressive beauty that surrounds Tucson. And if you're super adventurous, you can even hike all the way up Mount Lemmon. We chose to drive up instead. Take the Mount Lemmon Scenic Drive. Rising mightily above Tucson's skyline, Mount Lemmon offers a stunning escape just a short drive from downtown. Mount Lemmon is the tallest peak in the Santa Catalina Mountains, rising over 9,000 feet above sea level. Mount Lemmon Scenic Drive, also called the Sky Island Scenic Byway, climbs more than 6,000 feet in elevation and takes about an hour to complete. Along the 26-mile drive, you'll experience a dramatic change in scenery, from cactus-filled lowland desert to rocky cliffs and outcrops, and finally, lush pine forests that feel like an entirely different world. These elevated mountain ecosystems stand out like islands of alpine greenery hanging above the dusty desert. In summer, Mount Lemmon offers a cool retreat from Tucson's scorching heat, and in winter, it transforms into a snowy playground. Along the way, be sure to stop at the many breathtaking viewpoints and trailheads. Windy Point is one of the best spots to stop, explore, and take in the gorgeous surroundings. It's a large rocky outcrop with high cliffs overlooking Tucson. It has ample parking and several restrooms, but more importantly, the views are amazing. Other great lookouts along the way to Mount Lemmon's summit include Seven Falls, Thimble Peak Vistas, and Geology Vista Point. All the way up near the summit, you'll find Summerhaven, a charming mountain village nestled among the pines 8,000 feet in the sky. Here, you can relax with a coffee, grab a homemade pie, and even rent a cozy cabin for the night. Summerhaven's permanent population is only 40, yet each year it receives over 5 million visitors. And that's all on an area of land smaller than 5 square miles, meaning it gets crazy crowded, so make any reservations well in advance. For additional alpine adventure, Mount Lemmon has incredible hiking opportunities. Mount Lemmon is also one of the most developed and popular rock climbing areas in all of Arizona. And if you visit in winter, don't miss Ski Valley. It's the southernmost ski resort in the entire continental United States. Snowfall on some parts of Mount Lemmon can average over 10 feet per year, on par with some of those Colorado ski resorts. Visit Agua Caliente Park. On the way to or from Mount Lemmon, you should check out Agua Caliente Park. It's a free 101-acre park full of gorgeous Mexican fan palm trees. Agua Caliente, which means hot water in Spanish, is a literal oasis surrounded by the Sonoran Desert. It has a naturally warm spring, and while it's not a steaming hot jacuzzi, the water is warmer than you might expect. Agua Caliente's warm spring originates from rainwater and snowmelt that seeps into underground aquifers. That water warms deep underground and then pushes back to the surface, resulting in this warm spring that gives the park its name. This consistent water source has been used by humans, plants, and animals for thousands of years. Besides the pretty views, Agua Caliente Park has picnic spots and gentle trails perfect for an easy day stretching your legs and enjoying the scenery. Pima Air Space Museum. A truly unique Tucson experience is the Pima Air Space Museum. Opened half a century ago, this is now one of the largest private aerospace museums in the world, with over 400 aircraft. Even if you're not a plane nerd, this is a really cool place to visit. You'll see fighter jets, tons of warplanes, and a wide variety of helicopters, personal and experimental vehicles, and way more. You can stroll the exhibits at your own pace or take a guided tour. This museum has everything from antique aircraft and historical relics to unmanned drones and cutting-edge space-age vehicles. Some of our favorites include the Super Guppy, a goofy transport plane that looks like a beluga whale, Sophia, a NASA research plane, and the former world's fastest plane, the SR-71 Blackbird. They even have an Air Force One, which flew Presidents John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson. Next to it is Freedom One, which carried Presidents Kennedy and Eisenhower. The Pima Air and Space Museum covers over 80 acres and has 6 hangars to explore. You can easily spend an entire morning here, though hardcore enthusiasts can likely stay far longer. The museum used to offer tours to the neighboring Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, aka the Boneyard, which is the largest airplane storage facility in the world, but they stopped due to security concerns. One sister site that you can visit is the Titan Missile Museum. It features the last remaining Titan II missile, which stood guard throughout the Cold War. It's now decommissioned, unarmed, and open to visitors. Before we get too far, we have to mention Tucson's world-renowned cuisine. Tucson was the first U.S. city declared a UNESCO City of Gastronomy due to its unique blend of Native American and Mexican traditions, showing impressive resourcefulness and a commitment to locally sourced ingredients. Indigenous farming and gathering practices in the area date back thousands of years, though they were also impacted by the Spanish missionaries in the 1700s who introduced wheat and other crops and animals to the region. Some foods that represent the area's unique culture are now familiar to many who live well outside Tucson. These include carne seca, which is marinated in dried beef, prickly pear, a sweet floral cactus fruit often used in preserves and drinks, nopalitos, which are sliced and cooked cactus flesh. It tastes kind of like a mix of bell pepper and sour green apple. Fry bread, which is a simple fried dough born from the resilience amid the hardships of forced relocation and meager government rations. And the now famous Sonoran hot dog, which has a bacon-wrapped frank in a soft bun, topped with pinto beans, onions, tomato mayo, jalapeno salsa, and more. There's a lot of hype around Sonoran hot dogs, so we were a bit worried, but they did not disappoint. We loved Ruiz Hot Dog Stand and El Güero Canelo, which by the way has amazing tacos too. Tucson has the oldest continually operated Mexican restaurant in the United States, El Charro Cafe, which is thought to be the birthplace of the chimichanga. There's plenty more to explore, but the last restaurant we'll mention is Barrio Bread. This bakery is committed to using local heritage grains, which results in rich flavor, high quality, and priceless cultural respect. They're also famous for having a line well down the block, so get there early or prepare to wait for your delicious bread. Explore Saguaro National Park. No trip to Tucson is complete without visiting Saguaro National Park, home to the enduring symbol of the American Southwest, the famous and humongous saguaro cactus. This unique national park protects these ancient cacti and other life forms in one of the most biologically diverse deserts in the world, the Sonoran Desert. This park is split into two districts, the Tucson Mountain District in the west and the Rincon Mountain District in the east, each with its own characteristics. The Western District has more dense cactus forests, but they tend to be younger and have fewer arms. The Eastern District, on the other hand, has larger, more mature cacti, way bigger mountains, and many more miles of trails. You'll find short, accessible trails, longer hikes into remote wilderness, and scenic drives like the Cactus Forest Loop. The park also holds cultural significance, with ancient petroglyphs etched into the rock by the indigenous people who lived here centuries ago. Plus, thanks to minimal light pollution, this park is great for stargazing. Saguaro National Park is more than a scenic stop. It's an immersive experience. We made an entire video about both districts in Saguaro National Park, so check that out for more information if you're interested. Downtown Tucson. The Tucson area is one of the oldest continually inhabited places in the United States, dating back thousands of years. But the current downtown traces its roots back to Spanish military forts in the 1700s. Modern downtown Tucson is now full of historic districts and some high-rise and mid-rise buildings. One of Tucson's more unique landmarks is a bridge shaped like a rattlesnake. And the University of Arizona campus is a major feature, covering several hundred acres near downtown. Visit Biosphere 2. Far north of downtown, you can explore Biosphere 2, one of the most unique science experiments in the world. If it looks like a space station that you'd see on Mars or the Moon, you're not that far off. This incredible facility in the middle of the Arizona desert was originally built to study humankind's ability to recreate Earth's complex, life-sustaining ecosystem in space. Think of it like a giant terrarium, a self-contained ecological system housing 8 scientists to see if humans can live self-sufficiently, completely sealed off from the outside world. If it sounds familiar, it's the real-life inspiration for the cult classic movie Biodome. The University of Arizona uses Biosphere 2 to conduct cutting-edge research on climate and how different ecosystems function. Inside the futuristic space station-like facility, they've recreated 5 different biomes: a tropical rainforest with over 100 tree species, a million-gallon ocean with its own coral reef, a mangrove wetland, a savanna grassland, and a coastal fog desert. Walking through each one feels like stepping into a completely different world. While 2 different attempts at making it completely self-sufficient have failed, it's still used for research and is now open to visitors. Biosphere 2 is a place that sparks deep contemplation about our planet and our relationship with it. It's educational, a little bit surreal, and definitely a cool experience. And if you're wondering about Biosphere 1, it's the original Biosphere, planet Earth. Visit Mission San Xavier del Bac. A few miles south of Tucson, Mission San Xavier del Bac is Arizona's oldest European structure and is one of the best examples of Spanish colonial Baroque architecture in the United States. Built in the late 1700s, this place is packed with history, culture, and amazing architecture. Inside it has bold murals, ornate carvings, and details that show off that classic Spanish colonial Baroque style. It's still an active church today and totally free to visit. It was undergoing restoration during our visit, but it was still a worthwhile stop for the art, history, and architecture. Say howdy to Old Tucson. Want a taste of the Old West? Old Tucson was once a movie set for classic Hollywood westerns featuring stars like Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, and even former President Ronald Reagan. The site has since been converted into a theme park, full of fun details and games for the whole family. There's even actors walking around who stay committed to their Old West characters and will greet you with a howdy. While Old Tucson was made for Hollywood movies, you can get a more authentic experience of the real deal Old West town by visiting nearby Tucson, Arizona. Nearby national monuments. There's also a few awesome national monuments near Tucson. To the southwest is Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, and to the east is Chiricahua. Chiricahua is an awe-inspiring forest of stone, full of towering rock spires called hoodoos that create a surreal landscape. For more about the many great hikes here, you can check out our full video about Chiricahua, and click all those nice buttons. Thanks and love you all.